And we continue now with our top story as we are just getting information that ISIS is claiming responsibility to the attack. This as investigation continues in London after that horror scene there. Authorities raiding buildings and homes in the eastern part of the city, and investigators saying they are focused on the 3 attackers who were shot and killed by police.
Work is ongoing to understand more about them, about their connections, and about whether they were assisted or supported by anyone else. As I think you're aware, there are searches ongoing in East London and 12 arrests have already been made. There is clearly more to do, and we will work relentlessly to get to the facts.
Danny Coulson joins me now. He's the former FBI Deputy Assistant Director and the FBI's Hostage Rescue Team Commander. So, Danny, we'll start with the white van. What can that van tell investigators? The fingerprints, credit card records of who rented it, and then what about those now dead suspects, and also the breaking news that ISIS is now claiming responsibility for the attacks?
Well, the van can be a treasure trove of information, not just fingerprints, but also DNA. There could be a lot of DNA evidence in there. You can't go anyplace and rent a car or a van or drive one without leaving your DNA. So that could be really, really good. What's going to hamper this investigation, though, is there are apps out there, and I think the Prime Minister talked about it today, that intelligence services and law enforcement community cannot get into. So these guys have a communication network that can't be penetrated by the FBI, MI5, MI6, or anybody else. So Parliament needs to take a look at that. Our Congress needs to take a look at it so that once these things happen, or even prior to their happening, there's a way to see what these guys are doing and maybe prevent a serious attack like this.
Absolutely. And as I said, the breaking news is that ISIS is claiming responsibility for the London attack. How does that change your analysis of what happened there?
It really doesn't. I mean, ISIS is going to claim it, whether it was ISIS directed or just ISIS inspired. They're both the same. It doesn't really make that much difference, frankly. What you want to try to do is spread a net that gets this tangled web of cells over there and here, so that you can try to keep these things from happening in the future. And it's going to be difficult. Scotland Yard is very good. I've done a lot of work over there. They have a great deal of capabilities, and they're tenacious, and they'll find it. It's just that it's a big job, and with the threat that they're facing, they probably need a lot more resources than they have right now.
And with those so-called no-go zones that you just referred to.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let me tell you.
That's very serious, yes. No, I was going to say, they need to eliminate those things. If you have law enforcement presence, you have the ability to develop sources and information and maybe stop these things. But if it's no-go, they need to change that. If it takes the SAS going in there and cleaning them out, law enforcement needs to be there. It's part of the way we have a civilized culture. With no-go zones, we have anarchy, and no society can sustain that.
Yeah. Judy Miller is a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist and also a Fox News analyst, and she wrote a piece for foxnews.com/opinion, the opinion piece. She was applauding the response of the work of the British police, the work there, saying, quote, in part, stepped up intelligence and security, steadfastness and adherence to our own core values must be our objective. For make no mistake, London Bridge will not be the last such attack in England or Europe or the U.S. So, Danny, do you agree with Judy's take? And how do London Metropolitan Police, NYPD, intelligence agencies work to thwart future attempts of these smaller scales but deadly attacks?
Well, I totally agree with what she said. We need to have a constitution. They don't have one, but they have law. And we need to be sure we observe the law. But one of the things they can start with, very frankly, is arming their policemen. We've seen throughout Europe, France, Belgium, Germany, and now in England, where policemen, valiant as they are unarmed. That makes them trying to do their job with absolutely no protection. They need to start with that. Arm your police, and then let them have the tools they need to go after these guys. And remember, this is not a bank robbery gang. This is a tsunami effort to take over the world for these guys. They want to establish Sharia law throughout the world, and they'll do anything they can to do it. That's called war. And we need to address these things like we're dealing in a war situation.
Hey, Danny, Judy Miller also went on to say that there will be no more endless debates about the motive and nature of such attacks. The attackers yelled, "This is for Allah," and they shouted it in English. Is such conviction vital to combat terrorism, Danny? I mean, the Prime Minister, Theresa May, there in Britain, saying that it's time for difficult conversation. So how much, quickly, if you could, does political correctness impede intelligence agencies?
I think dramatically so. I think that we're trying to be a PC community and not call it what it is. And again, I get back to what I said earlier. It's war. And when they say they're at war with us, maybe we'll wake up one day, our leaders will wake up one day and say, yeah, you're right, it's war, and let's treat it like it's war.
Danny Coulson, we leave it there. Thank you very much for your time, Danny.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.